First bill that I'll be signing is SB 266. And what this does is reorient our universities back to their traditional mission. And part of that traditional mission is to treat people as individuals, not to try to divvy them up based on any type of superficial characteristics.
The law also forbids public colleges from offering general education courses, those that are part of a required curriculum for all college students, that distort significant historical events, teach identity politics, or are based on theories that systemic racism, sexism, oppression, or privilege are inherent in the institutions of the United States and were created to maintain social, political, or economic inequities. Now, you know what, Jackson? I haven't brought her out in a long time, but I'm bringing her out because I'm about to blow my stack. Okay, I was gonna say the F-bomb all the way through. Hey, Jesus, put that back up. Put that quote back up, because I want people to understand this. Where Jackson and I are going. This mofo, and that's what he is. He is unqualified to be dog catcher. And I'm sorry, dog catchers, because y'all do a noble job. So he is unqualified to be dog catcher, yet Florida, y'all got this man running your state. The law also forbids public colleges from offering general education courses. This man ain't nobody's teacher. He don't have no pedagogy. So he gonna sit up here and try to govern the state of Florida and tell teachers what the hell they can teach in the classrooms in America. So those that are part of a required curriculum for all college students that distort significant historical events. I wanna know, American, I'm asking for a friend. What historical events are being distorted in this man's mind? Is it distortion that Anglo-Saxon Protestant folks, that is it distortion to say that white people of wealth came over to this land and took it from the Native Americans, from the indigenous people? Is that distortion, America, or is that the truth? Is it distortion that Columbus got lost, right? And then with disease, genocided the native population, didn't know where the hell he was going? Is that distortion? Is it distortion to say that some Africans came over to this joint before Columbus and didn't try to take the mofo over and steal people's land? Is it distortion that white women were treated as extensions of their children and had rarely any rights in this country? Now that don't mean that they wasn't in cahoots with some of these white men that were taking over, because we let white women off the hook too much for me. But is that distortion? Is it distortion to say that this country was built on chattel slavery? That means that black people, that means that Africans and their descendants were treated like a chair, like a dog, like a cat, like a cow, worse than that. And that generationally, America, that generationally, their children and children's children were held in bondage. Is that the kind of distortion that this dude is talking about? How abolitionists had to come into the game, how black people fought fiercely for their own liberation, and they had some white allies and co-conspirators. Is that distortion? Is the Trail of Tears distortion? Is what happened to our Chinese sisters and brothers distortion? Is the Japanese internment camps distortion? Because Jackson, I'm just trying to understand what kind of damn distortion this man is talking about. America, I'm telling you, he is dangerous. Jackson, your thoughts? I'm beside myself right now over this.
Well, and everything that you just listed too is the majority of American history. A lot of inclusion is incredibly recent. A lot of laws that were passed to protect minorities in any type of way is incredibly recent. And also, the Florida legislature just gave him $12 million to continue busing migrants around the country. Just a variety of these moves that are being made. So ultimately, Ron DeSantis, as you point out, the saddest thing is that this is really just pandering to people who are highly politicized online, but again, it's leading to real world consequences. But you can't ignore the reality of America. I mean, if you just talk about the time of slavery Slavery was basically the glue that made the United States possible. It was automation of the time, basically, and it was the one thing that was needed to keep the United States together. Even if people wanted to go after slavery at the time, it just wasn't really doable because too many people who had the power in the country, that's how they made their money. That's how the country made its money. Everything was connected. The North invested in slaves, sent loans for slavery. So the whole thing was in cahoots. So really, you just have to basically erase all of American history and start maybe in like 1990. You know what I'm saying?
Right. When does he want to start? Because some of those very same businesses, especially when you talk about insurance companies, still exist to this day. They insured Africans and then their African American descendants. Some of these same institutions, Harvard and the likes. You know, America would not be America without chattel slavery. And you know what? They had an opportunity to make it right, and it was called the American Revolution. So while they were fighting against King George and talking about, Patrick Henry riding through, talking about giving me liberty or give me liberty or give me death. But then they say, oh, wait a minute. There's one thing we want to hold over from the British, and that's chattel slavery. That you're going too far. When you say we want black people to free. No, we don't want them to be free because we're gonna continue to treat them like they subhuman. And when this dude fixes his mouth to say that theories that are based on systemic racism, sexism, oppression, or privilege are that he got a problem with that being taught, that they are inherent in institutions of the United States, he's a walking billboard of how it is inherent in American in the American system itself. And we're talking about social, political, economic. All of it. And see, these mofos don't understand when we talk about systemic racism and anti-black. They better go and get the book on how to be less stupid about race, written by Dr. Crystal Fleming. You know what? I'm gonna buy that book and mail it to the governor's mansion in Florida, because this dude needs it. My stunt double weighed in, but damn it, I don't need my stunt double today because I'm weighing in. Just period. The man is dangerous, America.